Welcome to the Labyrinth. I'm your host, Pratham Padav. My guest today is Virr Saxenaa. He is a mindset coach. He has also worked as a film producer, an assistant director, and an actor. If you find this podcast useful, do like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon and leave your valuable comments below. And you can also follow this podcast on Instagram and Spotify. Oh yeah, so Veer, welcome to the Labyrinth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, so like you asked, man, how did I start this podcast?
Yeah.
So prior to this, man, I there was another podcast called Algorithm, which I started with
Okay.
two of my friends. We were renting studios, and
Oh,
yeah, we got people, we got technicians and stuff like that. We were paying the rent and stuff, but it didn't work out because it was with two other friends and they had their own ideas. I had my own ideas, and
got it.
there was a clash of ideas. And then I had to start the Labyrinth, through which I met
Got it.
all of you.
Nice. So,
Yeah,
what's the name? What's the meaning of the name Labyrinth? I always wanted to ask you that.
the Labyrinth, it's like a maze, but in a maze you can get lost. In the Labyrinth, you can come from one corner, I can come from one corner. You go
Yeah.
right, left, wherever you want. At the end, if you keep walking straight, you and I will end up meeting.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, just like this, like how you and I met over here.
Yeah. Brilliant, man. Superb. Great to hear that.
Yeah. So how are you doing? How are things?
All good. All good. Yeah, all good. And just got wrapped up with a bit of things. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what's happening in your life right now?
Yeah, right now, like my primary thing is I'm working to launch my program, which is it's called Unchain Yourself. So it's got to do with coaching. Like I'm into coaching, helping people transform, and also into films, into production, working with my uncle that produced a film recently, two films. But primarily, what I want to do as a passion, as something kind of that I went through a phase. I want to like help people. I really want to do that. I want to give them those shifts that they've been looking for their entire life. Like I had been looking for my entire life, and I got it somehow through a process. And yeah, that's what I want to do it for people out there, for people who are stuck, for people who are in these chains, who are not moving forward, and to break them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What kind of shifts are people looking in their life? Can you give an example?
See, see, it's like in any aspect that you see, whether people are stuck in their career, for example, people are stuck in their relationship, their health, their personal growth, or the relationship with the family or with their spouse, or in whatever aspect they're stuck, depending on that parameters that I just told you. you know People don't know how to move forward, so they feel they have some external force that is stopping them, but there's nothing outside of you that is stopping you. It's not your parents, it's not your boss, it's not your job, it's you. And I was in that loop, and I was just looking for answers a couple of years back, and I didn't understand why I was stuck. So I was saying, I've tried everything. You hear this from people, I've tried everything, yeah, sab try kiya maine. But you've not tried everything. You worked hard, but आपने सब try नहीं किए. So the biggest thing is the shifts is that internal shift. People are looking, I want to earn the money, I want to get the best girl or the guy, I want love. You got to first be that. You're not there. You have to be that, you have to be at that frequency, and then you get that. So shifts, I'm talking about the internal shifts, which change you from your core.
Yeah. I think even I can relate to that. A lot of us have
Yeah,
emptiness and a void inside of us, so we look for exterior. In exterior ways, we try to fill that void, maybe through love or through some relationship or through some
absolutely.
work. Yeah, constantly we're
Yeah,
trying to chase others, and then we get stuck in that loop. Yeah,
absolutely. You'll be surprised how we try to validate that. From buying a new phone every year to buying those expensive bags or those shoes or those cars. It's good, shop for it, but people don't know what's happening to them. That's why every year they're changing their phones. The 13, the 14, the 15. There's no end to it. And I was in that loop. So they are searching for something which they don't know. So they think it's something outside of them. It's not outside of them. It's inside of them. And that's where, Unchain and everything kind of comes in to make them realize and get them on the right path. They're already there somewhat, but those final shifts, which that void that you spoke about, that they lack, is what I want to help them achieve.
Do you think we are our own worst enemy?
100%. No question about that. There's no question about that. We are the ones that are stopping us. So
yeah. So
absolutely.
then how can we overcome these personal mental barriers that we have constructed?
So see what happens, people talk about the law of attraction. You must have heard about it. Everybody has attract, manifest, be it, do it. But before the law of attraction, I believe in the law of subtraction, which people don't use. So the law of subtraction for me is you have to unlearn a lot of things. You have to get rid of that excess baggage. People are trying to say lose weight on their body, but there is a lot of weight on their mind, which they're not able to lose. So you have to unlearn a lot of things. You have to get rid of, the trauma that you've gone through, or your beliefs that you're holding on to, the attachment to an identity. People get stuck onto, I'm a Piscean, I'm a Scorpion, my mom's like this, my dad's like this. So they get attached. So now that thing is not getting out of their life. So like in a marriage, for example, you take a plate and you're putting in all the food, chicken, non-veg, pasta, everything. And then you want dessert, it will keep falling off. The more you put in, after a point, it will keep falling off. So you can attract the car, the girl, or whatever, it will keep falling off. It will not stay because there's no subtraction from that plate. You have to clear the plate. You have to get rid of that baggage, So that is what you have to first eliminate, and then feed in new programs in your life, and feed in new data. आपको antivirus software अपने दिमाग का run करना पड़ेगा. You have to run it for your brain. Otherwise, people can't manifest jack shit. I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. So you have to get rid of those patterns. And I've been there, I work with a lot of people, and this is what I've realized. It's the unlearning which sets tone for getting the new things in your life.
Yeah, I like the example that you gave of that astrology. He's a Piscean, he's a this and that. Because people use this example even in certain places. Like for example, if you're in an office, there'll be this one guy. He's like very annoying. But then there'll be this one girl who's heavy into astrology. She'll be like, you know why he's like that? Because that's how Virgos are. No, it's not because he's a Virgo. It's because he's an asshole. He has
because he's an asshole. Absolutely, bro. So see, I'm not against sun signs or whatever. Like I'm a Piscean. I believe a lot of things that I've read through, and I cannot unsee that. I know, okay, these are the things. But the problem it happens is you're justifying your shitty behavior with your sun signs, with your nature. You've gone on your mom or your dad. मुझे आता है गुस्सा यार, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ. This is my nature. But that's you're just taking the easy way out, man. And that's what it is, like you said, the shitty behavior. So you need to get rid of.
Yeah, I think that is one of the side effects of these spiritual people. They're using spirituality as an excuse to not get things done. Like one more thing that I've seen people use is karma. Okay, when someone does something bad to you, generally what I believe is that you have to take revenge, or you have to do something against them. Okay, but then people will say, no, let it go. It's karma. Next life he'll be born. No, if you don't do anything against them, how do you know they won't repeat that injustice against you? So don't use karma, astrology as an excuse to not getting things done.
Yeah, because see what happens, you have to draw the boundary as well. Like if suppose you tell me something, okay, I might be a calm guy, but if you keep telling me 10 things, there's one time that I should give you back, because then you're letting that energy penetrate you after a point. So you can say, dude, you can cut off, you can be calm. But after a point, you have to draw a line, especially if that person is a regular in your life. If it's like a one-off, I'm meeting you for the first time or a couple of times and you tell me something, I'm not going to pay heed to it, because I don't have anything. But if I'm somebody close to you, and that's what happens. See, most of the people in our life, strangers are not affecting us.
Yeah.
New people are not coming us and telling us something, our life goes off track. It's the known people around us that are triggering us. And that's because we don't have boundaries. We can't stand up for ourselves. So karma is, and also the other part of it, like revenge. I used to be a very hothead in that sense, where revenge, I'll get it back. I'll give one back to him or two back to him. But then because now I've got so many things to do and I'm
Yeah.
better aligned, I feel, I realized that even that is an energy wasted, taking revenge, giving it back, because that person is at a different level altogether, if he's constantly doing that and they can't see it. So I just kind of move away now, not about karma or anything, but just that I want to save my energy, because that 10 minutes is going to put me somewhere in a different zone altogether, which I can use. Otherwise, energy vampires, like,
Yeah.
you get caught up into that loop. So it's something of that sort.
Uh,
But yeah, drawing boundaries is something which is really, really important.
yeah. In the past few years, did you have to shed or did you have to get rid of a lot of toxic friends from your life?
Like, I can't even begin to. I didn't even know they were toxic, man, till 2020 happened, and
Yeah.
they just like kind of left me over chat messages. That was the level of fear they had gone through and everything. But so see, I've also been toxic, and I've gone through that phase. So earlier, when it happened, I lost my plot. Like, how could these friends? I've traveled the world. I've done so many things from my childhood. How could they turn out to be that way? So I went into a very low phase that time. Okay, like my dude, my close friends, my friends, I chose them, and they reacted this way. So it became like a personal thing. But then I realized that they are going through this journey of they don't realize what they're going through right now. Like I went through something, and luckily I went through a process which changed me, which made me realize a certain things. They haven't seen that. So I stopped labeling them or whatever. I just like moved away. I started concentrating on my work, putting my stuff out there. But yeah, you have to kind of get rid of them also, but also just be there. You have to detach. That is the word that I kind of use, is you have to detach. Sometimes you just cannot tell them to, okay, fuck off. It's just not going to happen. So you have to, it's an art, to mentally detach. You can still be there and still not be triggered. So that's what I've been kind of practicing sometimes when I bump into them or whatever. And that's that.
Yeah, same here. I don't think you can completely delete them from your life. And I think that is also unhealthy. You will, of course, meet
Yeah.
them once in a while, maybe not every weekend like you used to at someone's
Yeah.
wedding or some
Yeah.
mutual friends function. You will meet them, just say hi and all that. But it's, that it's not the same as it used to be before. Before you could have very personal conversations. Now it's much harder. Now you have built a
Yeah.
wall. You're like, okay, if I say this person will react to it that way based on
That's
past
the thing. Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
my problem is it's very simple, like problem is not okay, I know more than them, or I am better, you are toxic. I don't get into all of that. My only problem, I don't even care if people are wrong, because I've been wrong 1,000 million times in my life. My problem arises with people when they don't have an open mind. So if I'm your close friend, okay, we've known each other, and there is trust, we've traveled the world, we've done so many things together, that thing, this energy that we've created, don't you think that even once you should like just sit down and listen, to have an open mind, hear the other side? And that is where my problem lies. My problem is not in toxicity or they don't understand. That's don't believe me. I said, don't believe me. It's fine. But hear me out.
yeah.
So that is where all my thing kind of stem from. Okay, dude, like, what are these friends, man? They can't even hear you out. So, so that kind of really took me aback. Okay, it's come down to that. And they want to avoid that, So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, cool, even I'll avoid it. Then I can't talk shit about the general stuff that people keep talking about, ये मोदी को ये हो गया उसको ये हो गया, all of that bullshit people talk about, which is you're not going anywhere with that, you're not growing, nothing is happening, so sometimes it's fine, I get it, you have to have a bit of trash talk and all of that, but continuously and not hearing the other side of the story, it's a big no.
Yeah, same here. You know,
So you lost
I,
your friends or something?
Yeah, obviously. Even prior to 2020, not, I wouldn't say lose. Lose is a huge word. I would say
Okay.
I've distanced myself from them. Okay, I hope they don't watch this podcast. But anyways, this even prior to 2020, there was this. Um, I could feel it. It was like when I'm having a conversation with them. Okay, I don't know if I can say this. This is a
Yeah.
simple thing to say. This is an honest thing to say. But if I say this, they might get triggered. When you
Yeah.
know uh, that this person who I've known for 10, 15 years, I can't be
Yeah.
myself around a person who I've known for 15 years. How can
Yeah.
this be? How did we reach here? And I think, like you said, 2020 was when this thing reached a boiling point, and after that it was just not worth it. It didn't make sense.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, I guess that's what the shift is all about.
Yeah.
And nothing against anybody as such, but
Yeah.
it's just that when you get more aligned to what you want to do, and it also some of my friends triggered me, like it's one of it's because of them. A couple of them said, "K, what are you going to do about it? You're a nobody. Just shut up. Nobody's going to hear you out." And then I was like, "Hey, bro, now so I have to fucking do something about it." And that's when that channelized me. People's hate actually channelizes me. So Cristiano Ronaldo, do you know Ronaldo? Of course, I'm
Yeah, of
sure.
course. Yeah.
So there's this line which I really stick by all my life. Your love makes me strong, your hate makes me unstoppable.
Mm.
So when everybody started hating me in 2020, my family, my friends, they alienated me. That hate I channelized, you know, and that's what spurred me on. So I, in fact, look back and I thank them now. Because if it wasn't for them, I would have just been convincing them and I wouldn't have come out of my fears and done it, in front of everybody.
Mm.
So I think that really kind of helped me. And now they haven't even come in front of me. So it's really funny.
And nowadays, people have become very soft. You have to be very careful about how you talk. You can even get slapped for saying the wrong thing. Recently, if you've seen the Oscars, I didn't even know Oscars still existed. I completely forgot. Okay, if not for this Will Smith slapping Chris Rock thing,
Yeah.
a part of me think it's staged. What do you think?
It's completely staged, man.
Yeah.
It's obvious. He was laughing the other second, and
Yeah.
suddenly he goes and he's not that of a wacko.
Mm.
Will Smith is not that kind of a guy. But it's obviously staged. Now the reason is why. And
Mm.
that I guess we'll find out. I don't know the reason as yet. But
Mm.
it looks staged, man. Like I've done a lot of acting, I've worked with a lot
Mm.
of people. I can spot it. So it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So, how's the movie industry right now post the lockdowns?
Yeah, so bro, the movie stuff has just now picked up since like December, Jan, in fact,
Mm.
because once that Omicron thing got over,
Mm.
which suddenly went away, and after that, it started to pick up. Movies have started and stuff, but it's still not to the level that it was earlier, because the finances and all have gone. So it's not to the level it used to be with the films, even the footfalls of the theaters are low right now. So I'd done like two films with my uncle. One was shot in England, which I didn't go because there were tests and everything last year. So I didn't go for the production. But the other one was shot in South India, Bangalore. So that had gone for last September, October. And that's almost kind of ready with the edit and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, films will kind of always go on. But it doesn't like excite me anymore. I'm just doing it because it works for people. It gets me the right contacts. It makes me people value you more somehow. That shouldn't be a marker, but that's how it is. I realized, okay, cool, man, I'll have to do this as well and get content which is great or produce content which is good. And I was almost left the film, man, because the fakeness I couldn't handle because I have seen such crazy depths. But then I realized, okay, dude, you don't have to judge. You have to get your good side to it and concentrate on that side, the yin and the yang, be on the right side and put that forward. So that's what I started to do. And yeah, let's see if my main thing right now is to get Unchained. It got delayed since a while. but I'm building that community. So that is my first priority for sure. And of course, films will be a part of it. Let's see. Might act. I'd taken a break as well. I'd acted earlier, then I took a conscious break in between. And yeah, so that's that. So films are picking up, but not to the level that they were. People are too conditioned यार. घर पे बैठ के they're pretty conditioned. Phone पे देखो, laptop पे देखो. They hardly they're going to theaters now.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the modern world, how can we survive and thrive where all of us are conditioned, everybody is hooked to social media, our favorite influencers are telling us what to eat, what to wear, when to shit, everything they're telling us morning to night. How can we
Yeah.
survive in this era?
No, so that's what you just said, right? The influencers, they're influencing you. So your mind, if you're not aware, which people are not, we have been unaware all our lives because that's been our conditioning since our childhood through our school and everything. We've been unaware. We've been made to work in a similar way. But it comes down eventually to the point that what do you want out of life, which people are not clear about. So a lot of people are very distracted with Instagram, because even I was at one point. We are too interested in what is the Deepika Padukone wearing out of an airport, what's her look, what bag she's carrying, which is adding zero value.
Yeah, what Aryan Khan is smoking and
what Aryan Khan is smoking, everybody's posting about Aryan Khan. They're getting absorbed. Our energy is getting absorbed into all the crap stuff. So we are getting influenced. So influencers are doing what they think is right. But the problem is, that's why I say everything comes down to you individually. Is who do you follow? Where is your knowledge coming from? I know, dude, people from graduated from universities abroad, okay, and good background, everything. They still watch Big Boss and they still talk about it. I mean, dude, like at this point, if you're still watching Big Boss and you're not doing something to improve your mentality, that's why you're anxious. That's why you're depressed. That's why you're drinking. That's why you're smoking. So, yeah, I can say it's your choice. I'm not judging. I'm just showing you the reality. You cannot move away from that reality. So, people have to connect with the right people. The reason my life changed is because I got connected with the right people who spoke about things which even I did my graduation from London. I came out of that and I scored a 91 in finance in the final year. I came back, wanted to get into films and everything, but went through a phase and got out of that. And I realized, dude, we've not been taught about how the mind works. How do we come out of, if we are in a negative zone, how do we change our parameters? And that's when I realized that people need to first realize themselves, where is it they're going and what do they really want. People have no clue. I'm telling you. हम लोग एजुकेशन हो गई है, जॉब हो गई है, या बिजनेस हो गया है, बच्चे पैदा कर दिए और नेटफ्लिक्स देख रहे हैं. This has been the conditioning. If you're happy with that, keep living it. But I know people are not, because that's why they're escaping every night for a Netflix or Instagram, or they're winding their time away. So that is a reality. And if they face that, that is when their life can actually change. So community is definitely the way forward, and the way you get influenced is what, it's your choice. You are choosing to go on all of these shitty. See, there are good side of Instagram also. There's the other side also. It's what you choose to look at it. There's a good side of the internet, which we used and it helped us, right?
Yeah.
And there is the other side. So which people are using that and they don't know why their life is that way, because their conditioning is that way. So that's what it is.
It's like you said in that talk of yours. I was watching one of your talk where you said, we are born in a box, we live in a box, we work in a box, we are addicted to a box, and then in the end we die in a box.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So we need an out of box thinking right now. And
exactly.
Like you mentioned, people, highly educated people also watch Big Boss, not only watch Big Boss, but act in Big Boss. In the past 2 years, we have all been in a giant reality show. We've all been locked in our own homes. We are following what the Big Boss, the Big Boss is telling us to do.
You realize that drama that happened in our own house, how our family friends, they became contestants, and we lived through that, right?
And we are
that
telling them,
drama.
guys, this is chill out. This is just a reality show. We figured that out. We were like, those are the
Yeah,
cameras over there. They're
yeah,
taking it too seriously. They're like, no, Big Boss ye bol raha hai. Big Boss is,
yeah.
whoever they think
Yeah.
is WHO or whatever. How did you feel about this whole lockdowns and all this
Dude,
whole.
like it was hell initially because I was trying to help people.
Hmm.
Okay, like when I knew the truth, and I was like, I want to help people. Initially, 1.5 month, even I was scared. I'll be honest. I didn't from the start believe the virus or whatever that was. But when I researched and I saw the reality, I was like, dude, like stuff it. And I have like people don't know this. I'm telling like for the first time online that I've gone through a lot of cold, cough my entire life. I've always been on a pump or breathless in the middle of the night, bronchitis. I've taken medicines thrice a year, all of that. And when I saw the truth, and I've been told to have a tonsil stop operation, a nose operation, all of that. You know, it's only when I saw the truths around 2020 and I went deep into it and I healed. For the first time in 2020, I didn't fall ill. And that's when I realized, okay, dude, like stuff the face covering. Let's see what happens. And I just went out with it and I believed in some higher power. I knew that we are created to breathe oxygen. We cannot, it's stupid. My logic told me, I didn't read this anywhere, but my own intuition told me, okay, dude, like it's stupid. You're meant to breathe. Like, how can you put this? And then I went deeper, deeper, deeper. And then, of course, I had the thing. So the biggest thing was my biggest anxiety was telling people whatever was happening. But then I realized it was coming from after a point of place where I wanted to be right. I wanted to tell them, see, I know this. Don't wear a mask. Don't do this. Don't do this. I am right. So it was stemming from that. I wanted them to hear me out. And then it later dawned on me, dude, people have not stood up for themselves in their life. How they're going to stand up right now with whatever's going on? So that's stupid. It's a lost argument whatsoever. And that's when I started to detach. So the first 6 months were hell, in the house, and I wasn't wearing a mask or whatever. My parents saw that I've lost it. I was like, yeah, I don't want to wear it. I can't breathe. And I actually was like asthmatic. I was actually, when I was wearing a mask, I couldn't actually breathe. So I was like, okay, bro, fuck the virus. I'm going to die just by wearing a mask for longer periods of time. I could not breathe. So I was like, dude, I don't want to wear this shit. It's stinking. I can't breathe and it's all bullshit. So it had been really tough, but then I detached. I had a lot of introspection. I went to Goa by the beach. I sat there with a drink, looking at the sea and had these moments, dude, like, what are you doing? And so it was tough to come out of that also. But yeah, man, lockdowns are the worst. Like I'm totally against lockdowns.
Uh, Same here. At the beginning, I was like a sheep itself. I was watching TV. Okay, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Okay, 2 weeks. Let's do it. Let's socially distance. Let's use the sanitizer. I bought one. I went to the pharmacy to buy a bottle of Dettol. They are saying no Dettol because everybody had stocked up on sanitizer. Okay, fine. 1 week got over. 2 weeks got over. A month got over. 2 months got over, and people are still following those same things. People are still paranoid even after a year. And then I just started asking simple questions like, hey guys, wasn't this supposed to be over in like 1 or 2 months? Okay. And all we were mocking conspiracy theorists. We were saying, oh, these conspiracy theorists are saying vaccine passports will come, digital ID will come, and we were laughing at them. And a year later, all of that turned out to be true. Now, see, your source of information is not important. Was the information right or wrong? It was right. So when someone's giving you information and predictions that came out to be true, you have to change your mindset. You have to look at it as it is. You have to say it as it is. And I haven't changed. I have remained the same. I've been consistent. Okay, but people who at the beginning were saying it's only 2 weeks, it's only 1 month, even after a year, they're like, no, 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 no. Even now, you have to stay at home. You don't risk your grandmother's life. Too much paranoia. What I really liked Okay, was this video of you and Naman Basin and few others. I think it came out in 2020. This anti-mask video that went viral. It was very good, man. What motivated you guys to do that so early on? You're on mute, Veer.
Yeah. So it was just that, I'd made it because I realized that people are suffering, and I could see through all of that crap. Dude, like masks don't work, man. Like be real, just don't scare people. My problem was, okay, give people the truth. Why are you scaring people? Because the virus was not as it was supposed to be, and masks didn't do anything because international reports were already coming in since a lot of time from very big doctors, who were saying that they don't work. They've never worked. We had tuberculosis, TB hua tha, sab hua tha, which spreads 10 times faster than COVID. We've never worn a mask all our lives. So why are we forced to wear it? So my problem was to give people their choice, dude. Like, don't force something on us. Don't tell us, okay, we have to wear this, we'll fine you for this. All that is crap. Right? How can you put something on us? How can you decide our health? You're telling us that we are not taking care of our health, or we don't know the stuff, or whatever that is. So let an individual decide that at the end of it. And then later on, right now, the lockdowns proved it. All the reports that have come down right now, 6 months back, 8 months back, that said the lockdowns didn't work. The masks didn't work. Neither are the shots working. So it came out to be true, right? So my only thing was I wasn't against anybody. They want to wear a mask, they wear a mask. Who am I to decide? They want to get a shot, man. Who am I to decide? But I'm saying don't put that on everybody because not everybody wants it.
Exactly.
Like what about people who are asthmatic, people who can't breathe? How do you know? If I wear a mask and I fall ill, okay, because of wearing a mask, that spreads the virus faster than a person who's not falling ill, right? So people can't decide that based on just one general consensus. Then everybody, starts wearing a mask. That's unreal. So that's the reason it just, yeah.
It had become like a religion, man. Like you can't question everything. Like whatever this person says, it has to be like how they used to have commandments and all that back in the day. Like follow this religion. If you don't follow this religion, you have to be in that corner of society. It was like that. COVID had become a new religion. This was like the new religious identity for them.
But I'm glad it looks like it's over, but you never know what happens. But I kind of detached from all of that. I realized at the end of it, people need to understand how their mind and body work. Otherwise they'll be scared for their life. Whether it's COVID, the reality, or whatever. The reason people are not able to move forward is because they don't know how their mind works. They don't know how their body works. They don't know what they're eating. They don't know what they're thinking. They don't know what they're watching, how that is affecting them. They have no clue. I had no clue 3 years back, 4 years back. And that's when I went deep into all of this. And then my life changed. So I realized that at this point, people need an inner revolution. That's what people kind of need. Forget the mask or I don't get into it now because I know it's a lost battle. You can't win people. What actually people need to change is, and once they change their consciousness, the collective consciousness changes. So that's the aim right now.
Yeah. How are you planning to plant the seed for that inner revolution? How can we plant those seeds?
So see the inner revolution, so I've worked with a lot of people, like I've coached a lot of people, I've done seminars, I've done webinars, and right now I'm working on my own program that's Unchain that I want to launch. So at the end of it, it's a system. People have to go through a system. So now if suppose you're living your life, okay, whatever you're earning, your career, your relationship, whatever that is, you have to ask yourself, of course, once you go through the process, people will have a realization. Are they happy with the money they have in their bank account? Are they happy with their health? Are they happy with how their life is shaping up or has shaped up till now? And if not, what are they doing about it? So once they go through a process, they realize all of this. Okay, no, the only person that's holding you back is you. So some people, so see, it's like you want to get up at 6 a.m., for example, but you can't. You want to lose weight, but is not able to drag yourself to the gym. You want to start the business. It's not happening. So what is this gap? Like you want to do it, but it's not happening. So आपको सब तो करना है, but it's still not happening. So what's stopping you? Nobody's ever thought about this. You get a newer resolution after 3 weeks, nobody returns to the gym. 85% of New Year resolutions fail by February. 85%. So what's wrong? That means their thoughts are not in control. People don't know how to take action, what to think, what not to think. And with so many distractions, people lack focus, people lack the right decision making capability. They don't know what's stopping them internally. So once they go through that process and they don't have the right community, man, the biggest thing that people don't have right now is a community. आपके पास दारू पीने की कम्युनिटी है, आपके पास पार्टी करने की कम्युनिटी है, आपकी चिट चैट करने की कम्युनिटी है, फुटबॉल देखने की कम्युनिटी है, बट आपकी ग्रोथ, आपकी माइंडसेट, आपका so many things, how do you get aligned for your business, for your everything? People don't have that. That's why people don't change. You're an average of 5 people around you. They say you're an average of 5 people around you. So look at the close 5 people around you, the way they think, the foods they eat, the thoughts that they have, the work that they're doing, maybe the cars that they drive, the house that they have. You're an average of 5 people around you. So that's how unknowingly, because people are not aware, your conditioning becomes that. You start acting that part because society may be anyways living this duality. So it can only happen through a process, because where we are right now, we've come through a process which we are unaware of. But if I track your pattern, I realize, okay, these are the things that you've done, and that's why you messed up. So that's unknowingly a system that you followed, which has not worked for you. That's why you are the way you are. You're stuck in whichever aspect that might be. So if you want to change that, you have to get in a new system. Without a system, you're not going to change in the long run. So you can read the quote, you can watch a motivational video, you can read a self-help book. But if you don't read yourself, it's not going to change. And I've been through that route. I've done all of these things. That's why I'm a lot confident about some of the things that I say and that I execute. And of course, I've got some good mentors that, I've worked with and understood things at that level. And that's what I want to kind of put forth eventually to people.
I'm glad that you brought up the community aspect, man, because a lot of the times, even I used to think the reason why I couldn't get certain things done is because of discipline. Of course, discipline plays a major role. But I had got a psychologist on this podcast as well. And sorry, I asked the same question to him. Is it because of discipline? Why can't I get things done? He said, yeah, partially it's because of discipline, and it's also because of loneliness. You can't get things done alone. If you have a community of like-minded people around you, it's much easier to get things done, because we human beings, historically, we've always lived in villages, we've lived in tribes, we've lived amongst like-minded people to achieve a common goal. But today we all live in apartments and in rooms, white walls around us, and we're so isolated. And in the past 2 years, we've been even more isolated, and it becomes so much harder to get things done. We feel so lonely. We're like, what is even the purpose of life, man? To get things done and do what? We feel like everything is so meaningless now.
So you think about this, why do we go to a temple or a church or a mosque or a gurdwara or whatever? Why don't we do it at home? We have got a temple, or they say God resides in us. And, so why don't we do that? Why do we go there, and why do we feel good there?
Because we want, thought about it? Yeah, I feel like we go there to get a sense of community.
Yeah. So actually what is happening, people don't know this. They feel they're going to the temple and, they're praying. तो कह रहे नहीं टेम्पल है, वो फिजिकल जाके फर्क पड़ता है. What's actually happening in that space is, suppose in a temple, everybody is going there to pray. So that collective energy and then collective intention to pray, to do well, to prosper, whatever, is there in that area. And that's what changes us. It's just not the idol. Okay, the idol is there, but we also have an idol at our home. But what actually changes is the collective consciousness, the collective energy of people in that same spot. That is what changes our entire energy. That's why we feel so good in a temple, a church, or a gurdwara or whatever, or a mosque. That's because of that. So community, like you said, we've been tribal in our nature. That's the most important thing. The reason we could come out of so many things is because we had a community about, we didn't remain in fear. But at a higher level also, one thing is getting rid of your fears, one thing is taking action to align with your purpose, to do whatever is it that you're meant to do. So one thing is getting over that fear and everything, but also in a space where you're collectively chasing anything and people are pushing you to do it. Otherwise, it doesn't happen alone, man. I've been there, tried. You must have tried it yourself. A lot of people, and I have some mentors who say the same thing, dude. Everybody needs help, and we've been taught wrong. Can sab khud se karenge, we'll do it on our own. It doesn't work. After a point, you can't pull it off. You need the right people around you, same wavelength, same frequency, same energy, heading towards the same direction. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Community matters. That's why I use a phrase nowadays. I say, reject society, embrace community.
Yeah,
Because
wow.
from, from in the past 2 years, especially, we have realized how useless society is and how important it is for us to create new community for our own well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. And you realize that, people are so gullible and people are, I'm not judging them, but they are
Mm.
dumb,
Mm.
and we've also been there. We've also been dumb, but we've come out of it, and that's what people need to see. Okay? Being dumb is a choice. It's not, you're not born dumb or anything. It's a choice that you're taking right now. There is the other side. You can get better because we've been there. I've been there. I've been the dumbest guy ever, but I looked for it. I looked for something more. And slowly I found that. And that's what people need to have, an open mind, a bit of curiosity, and have faith in something a bit more. And that's when you come out of that same stagnant reality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, what are your future plans, man?
Bro, future plans is just that. Like, I want to help people reach the highest potential. That's my main thing, because I've gone through a phase where it was a very dark phase and I didn't have anybody. Nobody understood what was happening with me, anxiety, depression. Nobody knew that, and when I came out of it, luckily, maybe it was some higher force, it had to be. And that got me around on this path. And post 2020, I realized that, it is some higher force which made me ready for this point in time. I wasn't just meant to, okay, come on the screen, entertain, dance, or crack jokes, which is great. I can do that all day long. But I realized it was something more, to make a difference in people's life and show them a side of reality which they don't know, and from there my thought of Unchain came into the picture. So my thing is actually to make Unchain a big movement. My main aim is to, change people's patterns, because dude, you can try, you can do any course, you can do any system, you can do anything. But if you don't understand what's happening inside you, you will not see different results in your life. And that's where people are faltering. So that's my aim, to make Unchain a movement and to help people reach their highest potential. And along the way, films happen, other things happen. I'm open to all of that. It's not a thing. But that's my life's mission, to kind of do that.
That's great, man. I want to ask you a very vague question, but it's a important question nonetheless. What do you
Sure.
think is the purpose of life?
Do the purpose of life is, I realize the purpose of life is to give each other the best experiences of what we are living on this planet. It's not about, okay, you live your best experiences, but it's always like I've been a lot full of myself, just being about me. But I realized why was that? Because it was the conditioning, and most people don't realize that. That's why they are clicking 100 selfies a day and they're not getting the perfect picture. They don't repeat the clothes or the dresses or whatever that is, or keep buying phones or the materialistic things. That's never going to make you feel whole. That's what we actually, if you go to the deep, people can say, dude, I do it for me. Yeah, it's nothing. No, it's not validation I'm seeking. You can say that, But if you go into the deep roots of how your mind and psychology and everything works, it is that. So at the end of it, that's great. You do that. I'm not against it. Sometimes I also do it. But at the end of it, it's very important that if you are in a position of privilege, and you are living a life a certain way, it's very important of people who are not there in that position, or you make them better along this journey of your life. So you should do things in such a way that you help a lot of people along the way. That's the purpose. Like people say, I just want to be happy, I want to travel. Dude, travel is never going to end for you. You go to 100 cities, it's not going to end. That's your purpose, live it. But for me, that's your own, this thing, your single journey. But the biggest thing that I realize is, and that's what the biggest people on the planet are also doing. You see the richest people, entrepreneurs, whoever that is, they have all the riches, they have the fancy cars and jets, which is great. But they are providing a lot of value to people. They're donating, they're doing a lot of other things, and that's what I think the purpose of life is, to give each other the best experiences possible. So if you are down and I am there, I can help you out in a certain way. I should do that. If I'm down and somebody else can help me out, reaching out to each other and just not be just full of ourselves. That's what I really feel.
Yeah. Thank you, man, for giving me a good experience and for coming on this podcast. It was good talking to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. It's been great. And yeah, I guess we got to do a lot more things. And collectively, I think is the way forward to kind of do that. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. And it went quick. It just kind of raced by.
Yeah. Are there anything more you want to talk about? I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Nothing as such, man. Just
Yeah.
that, the world is just changing at a rapid pace. And if anybody is kind of watching this, it's very important to arm yourself with knowledge, the right knowledge, and be a part of the right circles. Because whoever that I work with and my mentors and everything and the masterminds that I'm part of, this is the future that we're heading towards, and how things are happening and the things that are about to happen. With that in mind, you have to be 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
This is not a point in life where you wake up, okay, you go to a job and okay, we'll get a drink, because every 2-3 months something or the other is happening. If you look at it from 2020 onwards, it's not how it had been. It was never perfect earlier as well. COVID was just a trigger, and everybody's toxic reality came into the forefront, even my own, I would admit. But when you see that, you have to work on it. So that's why you have to arm yourself with the right knowledge, work on yourself, be a part of the right circle, and yeah, and be open. Be open to a lot of things. And I'm telling you, because I've been the most closed guy my entire life. I've been like a shut box. This whole concept of out of the box that I keep talking about is from me only, because I've always been in the box. I've always thought in a box, just about me or how things should be. But when I got a shock and my worldview expanded, I realized, dude, everything is happening outside the box. So it's very important for people to have an open mind. I think if they just do that, just have an open mind, their entire life will change.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think the biggest teacher in life is our own personal experience, and we're not even open to that. And yeah, just seeing things as they're happening right in front of us, that itself is enough to trigger our I don't know, our the way we recognize the reality as it was prior to 2020, especially for me. I thought, this is like this. You can trust this. You can trust the government, trust the media. Have a nice job, save your money, just chill, relax. All of that shattered after that.
Just trust yourself, man.
Yeah.
And why do people believe in authority or so much? They rely on it because they don't know anything about themselves. So they're always looking for a leader to guide them, in their life. Forget the government or whatever. In their own reality, people are not sure about them. So they're looking for their parents to guide them. They're looking for their friends or their colleagues or a doctor recently or whatever. They don't know anything what's happening. We don't have the knowledge. So we just like given our thing away. But now is the time to actually understand how we function. And when you have that, you know the remote control of your life is in your hand. Nobody can flip those channels except you. So nobody can make you angry, nobody can make you unhappy or make you peaceful or suddenly angry. It's in your hand. That's why I say okay, everything is it's you, man. It's you. It's just you. You have free will and you can do whatever the hell you want. But we are caught up in a lot of messes. Like I said, the law of subtraction before the law of attraction. You have to eliminate, dude. You have to like for antivirus, you have to run through your entire mind, body, system. That's what I've done, you know. And I still find so many viruses that I still have to keep running that antivirus.
Yeah,
It's a never-ending journey, you know. You keep unraveling something and then you keep adding a few more things. So I
exactly.
think that's the intense journey called
Anti,
life.
like you said, antivirus. I think truth is the best vaccine for all of this.
Truth is the biggest antivirus vaccine, whatever it is, because truth has the power to change you.
Mm.
You know, it can. We've been living a lie based on our egos.
Mm.
You know, in any aspect. Say, look at your career, look at your relationship, look at your health. There is in every situation. I'm glad you brought this up at the end.
Mm.
If anywhere that you're stuck, you know, and Pratham, anywhere in your life, there is certain truth that you've not faced.
Yeah.
So you've not faced that. You don't know it, maybe, you know, or you're avoiding it. Because everything that anxiety is got to do with a certain truth that you still not faced. You know, and once you face that truth, eventually when you find it, you relax because you know this is what it is. And the universe runs on mathematics, it works on codes, on patterns. So everything has a cause and effect. There's nothing random. You know, you might think your life is running on chance. It's not running on chance. It's a series of events that has added up, that has got you here, which you have been unaware of. If you were aware of, you would have taken conscious action, but you've just been unaware of, you know, the relationship that didn't work out, or the money that you didn't get, the sales that went away, anything. You've been just unconscious about, okay, something that you messed up. You've not tracked it. So then it's coming back to that awareness, coming back to that awareness on a daily basis and facing those truths. But I face such truths about my life. I've been like, dude, like, what have you been living, man? You've wasted all those years. What were you thinking? You know, it just shocks me every day that there's so much more to, you know, get in and put that in action and see your life change. And people are living in a very limited reality.
I'm
So,
glad you brought that up because lately I've been stuck in a thought pattern, okay, because of
okay.
that kind of thinking. And this pattern is also unhealthy. What I do, and I'm addicted to this. I
What
imagine
is that?
myself going
Yeah,
back to, how I was, going back to age 21 or age 20. If I was 21 again, if I was 20
yeah,
again, this is what I would have done. If I was 18
yeah,
again, this is what I would have done.
yeah.
It That is another thing, okay, because there is
Oh,
so many things that I've learned in the past 5 years, in the past 10 years,
yeah.
but I have to own up and say, hey, you know what, I don't have a time machine to go back, but what can I
Yeah,
do now so that the
yeah.
35-year-old me does not regret what I'm doing right now.
So one thing that you can do is reverse your age metabolically
Mm.
and,
Yeah.
you know, go into a chronological age of 23, 24 again by eating the right stuff, thinking
Yeah.
the right thoughts, meditating and all of that. So that's one way to kind of do it. I like I should at least let me metabolically go behind if
Mm.
I cannot physically. But yeah, it's you can't look back like you said, you know, and with that energy, we just have to kind of move forward and take more decisive actions. It's the actions, you know, like how many actions are you taking quickly every day, and that's what kind of decides your life eventually.
Hey, thanks, man. This was a very
Thank you, buddy.
educational session. I learned a lot talking to you. Yeah, thanks for being
Thank
on
you,
the
man.
Labyrinth.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and you're doing a brilliant job. I've seen some of your podcasts; they've been really great, and I think this is the future. And thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you.
Yeah.